people to start thinking about their feet because the implications it will have for longevity is massive. But there is plenty of things we can do for foot strength and performance. And you can actually do this at home. And I'm going to educate you here. There's a lot we could talk about here.
That didn't sound like a compliment.
Dr. Courtney Conley is a world-renowned foot doctor
who's making people rethink everything they know about their feet.
And the shocking truth about their shoes.
1 in 3 people will experience foot pain, and it really starts to deter your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health, because you can't do most things. And I know this because as a ballet dancer and then a triathlete, I had all of the diagnoses, bunions, neuromas, heel pain, and not being able to walk and not being able to move. You can go to some pretty dark places. But when you look at the statistics, 5,000 steps a day can reduce the risk of having symptoms of depression and also reduce your risk of all-cause mortality by 15%.
Wow.
Here's a bigger wow. 9,800 steps can reduce the risks of dementia. So it's the most underutilized, easily accessible activity that most of us are not doing.
What about footwear choices?
Footwear has such a big implication on our function. For example, around 70% of children are wearing shoes that are too narrow.
I've got a range of footwear here that most people wear. So what do you think of these shoes?
You shorten the muscles in the back of the leg.
What is the issue with wearing these?
So they change the structure of the foot.
What about this one here?
You're gonna make me start sweating.
So let's talk about some good shoes then.
Okay, so these are the things you want to look for in a functional shoe. First,
this has always blown my mind a little bit. 53% of you that listen to this show regularly haven't yet subscribed to the show. So could I ask you for a favor before we start? If you like the show and you like what we do here and you want to support us, the free, simple way that you can do just that is by hitting the subscribe button. And my commitment to you is if you do that, then I'll do everything in my power, me and my team, to make sure that this show is better for you every single week. We'll listen to your feedback, we'll find the guests that you want me to speak to, and we'll continue to do what we do. Thank you so much. What are we getting wrong? And at what stage in our life do we get it wrong? It feels like you have a little bit of beef with shoes.
a little bit.
A little bit of beef. I've got a range of different shoes here. But what is it that we're being sold or told that is fundamentally not aligned with what it is to be a healthy, strong, happy human?
I always say that if we started with our children and put them in the right footwear, I'd be out of a job. Because that's when it starts. That's when the foot starts developing. And that's when we start to build strength and, structure to the foot. And from a very young age, we start interfering with what goes on the foot. And when you think about all of the things that the foot can do, it's why I'm obsessed with it. I mean, there's bones and ligaments, and the foot should be it's designed to move. The arch recoils, so it should lengthen, and then it should contract. There's 4 layers of muscles in here. So when we look at the function of the foot, we have to respect that. And I think footwear can deter the function of the foot.
So is the biggest risk, just to make sure I'm super clear, that I will fall when I'm older? Is that the key risk?
I mean, I think that is one of the sequela of what's going to happen if we don't start paying attention. But when you look at function as a whole, things like walking, 1 in 3 people, and probably over the ages of 45, will experience foot pain.
Yeah.
So other than low back pain, there's really no other diagnosis that you'll see those types of numbers. And here's the issue with foot pain. You can't do much. You can't go for a walk. You can't go for a hike.